Welcome to Home Biz Tax Talk. My name is Lysandra Everett. I am the Home Biz Tax Lady, where I help home business owners win the tax game. Home Biz Tax Talk airs Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock-ish. And when you tune into my show, you're going to hear about topics that are important to the home business community. And today I want to talk about a fairly new partnership audit law that has come into play. And I have not heard about it until I was just actually poking around and found this, you guys. So, and I will say this, there is no way for one professional to know everything there is to know about tax law, okay? I don't care who you are. This is why people specialize. So you can have the best tax person, you can have the best tax attorney, you can have the best CPA, and there are laws that are changing all the time. So if your tax professional or your CPA happen to have not heard about this, it is what it is, right? There's no way for us to all know everything. But this is a new audit law that actually impacts partnerships that were formed after January 1st, 2018. And this one I feel like it kind of flew under the radar, but it can really have a huge impact on partnerships and multi-member LLCs. So I wanted to first start with the multi-member LLCs. One of the things that I run into when I'm consulting with clients is, I get someone who says, well, me and my friend, we started an LLC. And then I'll ask the questions like, okay, we're both on the LLC. You're like, okay, well, now you're a partnership. You're treated as a partnership. This is no longer a single member LLC. And a lot of times people really don't realize that because, you go to the online sites. I won't specify which one. But you go to these online sites, they let you do what you want to do, but they don't tell you all the details that are really involved. So that's just the nature of the beast. So you are expected to know what, if you go and select a particular entity, whether it's a partnership, a S Corp or C Corp or multi-member LLC or what have you, because you're forming this entity, you're expected to know what's required of you. That's just the way it is. But this change in the tax audit is really going to be impactful to partnerships. So what it says is that the new audit rule allows the IRS to assess and collect tax directly at the entity level from the partnership itself at the time of the audit. Previously, what happened with partnership audits, if there was an adjustment or something, then the IRS had to go down and chase down individual partners. And a lot of times there are partnerships that have so many darn partners, it's absolutely bananas, trying to chase down the people based on the amount of their partnerships. So if you can imagine, if you have a partnership that has 100 partners and then you have this tax liability that's assessed, and then the IRS has got to go and find all 100 of these partners. And then if there were ownership changes, then they might have to go hunt down some more people. It's very time consuming. So what this new audit rule does is it allows the IRS to collect at the partnership level and let the partnership deal with it rather than going to chase down these other people. So it's less work on the IRS, but then it puts the hook on the partnership at the entity level. Now, understanding that with a partnership does not pay taxes, okay? The profits and losses are passed through to the partners to be claimed on their individual returns, okay? So now the IRS said, we're not doing that anymore. We're just going to deal with the partnership and assess the partnership at the partnership level, but also understanding how long the audit process takes. It can take up to 3 years before a partnership gets audited, right? And during that time, you may have partnership changes. So if you are someone who is buying into a partnership versus somebody that's going out, well, now under these new laws, if you are if you become a partner in this partnership, then it's based on who is the owner at the time of the assessment. So again, the IRS isn't going to go try to find Jimmy, who was a partner back in 2017. They're going to deal with the partnership as it is. So that is a huge change, because like I said, now, it's the partnership is going to be on the hook versus the individual partners. And so if a partner made a mistake and left, that partner is no longer going to be liable unless the partnership goes and does the work to find that person. But the IRS ain't having that anymore. So, so basically it has, what this has done is made it more streamlined for the IRS to collect, and the IRS isn't chasing folks down anymore. So, and if there's prior tax year liabilities from whoever else may have owned the partnership back then, the current partnership is the one that has to deal with it. So that's why it's important to have this tax audit agreement in place in your partnership. And I say that because a lot of times people go into partnerships and don't even have a partnership agreement. And that is one of the biggest mistakes you can make. So if you are considering going into business with someone, hammer out the partnership agreement first before before you even form anything, right? Because if you can't get on the same sheet of music about, how things are going to be run in the partnership, then we don't even need to form the partnership, right? That's a no-go at this station. So that having that partnership agreement, it puts into writing how things are going to run, who's contributing what, ownership percentages, and all of that. Because remember what I tell you, I heard somebody say a good man keeps his word. A contract reminds him of what he said. That's the same thing a partnership agreement does. It reminds you of what you said. And so when you have that partnership agreement, it's got to be signed by all the partners in order for it to be valid. So if if you go into business with someone and they agree to contribute, $5,000, and you agree to contribute $5,000, and then they say, okay, well, I'm not doing that anymore, but you have a signed agreement, then that person can be held in breach of contract. This is why it's important to have these things in writing. If, ownership percentages, and also the getting out process, what's the process for partners leaving that partnership, whether they, other partners have the first right of refusal to buy that one partner out, or if the partner has the right to sell their share to whoever. All that stuff goes into the partnership agreement, and that is very critical for the success of the partnership, for everybody to be on the same sheet of music. But now the additional layer is this tax audit agreement, and for folks to understand exactly what this means. Now, there are instances where people can opt out. And listen, y'all, I tell y'all all this, but this is why you have to have a team of people. This is why you have to have attorneys and tax people and CPAs and all of that, because there's no way for you to know all this stuff. And this is why you hire people that do. Okay, really. This is why you just don't go and do stuff online all willy-nilly, because you're not going to get this kind of information that, that talks about this, the tax audit and all of that stuff, because you don't know, right? That's why you hire professionals. But anyway, so, but it also, with this new audit law, it introduces the concept of the partnership representative, which is different than, if before in a partnership you've heard of the tax matters partner. A partner representative does not have to be a partner in the partnership. They can be just a representative. But now that representative has broad powers to bind that partnership to whatever agreement, right, that there is. So you've got to be careful with who your representative is. And so with the partnership, it also has that it enables a partnership representative to elect push-out ability. I'm sorry, let me read that again. The new regime enables a partnership representative to elect to push out the liability from current partners to those partners existing during the year under audit. So basically, the IRS is saying, listen, partnership, you are going to pay this tax liability, but hey, partner representative, you can go and pass this bill on to whoever was a partner at that time. So they're putting the responsibility on the partnership to go back and collect from whoever should be paying this from those individual partners, instead of the IRS doing the work. Like, well, we don't have enough of this. We don't have the time, nor the money. Partnership, y'all gonna do this work. So partnerships need to have something in place that establishes, an agreement of what's going to happen in the event of these audits, from now and in the future, so that partners who are, getting into a partnership understand that, if you leave this partnership, then if there's something that happens, if we get audited or whatever, and there's some kind of fine or tax liability that's produced, that you are going to be responsible for that during that audit year. And for partners that are coming in to say, hey, if we have an issue with the tax liability, the partnership is going to be responsible for this first, but we may have to go after some other folk to get her done. But this is why you have to have these types of conversations before you go into business with people. Because a lot of times we think, okay, I told y'all, we go into business, we spit shake, right? You and I are going to business. We look like the little rascals. We're going to sell lemonade, and that's just what it's going to be. But then when the money starts coming, okay, well, I paid this and and you paid that, so I should get more money. These types of fights happen. This is why it's important to have these conversations ahead of time, so that when you do start making money, that you already know how things are going to work. And it's already in writing, right? Nothing beats writing. My mama said, she said, believe me, if something ever happens, people are going to believe the one who wrote stuff down. So I say this really as a cautionary tale, more of, have these discussions about how the money is going to work, how the taxes are going to work, and with this new audit thing going on, you need to determine, and let people know how this is going to happen. So, and then also if something happens after the partnership is terminated, right? Because, people go out of business, whether it's, people don't want to play in the sandbox anymore, or the business fails. And then if there's an issue, you've got to still have a way to go back and, contact whoever was involved in this partnership and get it straight. Okay. So the thought for the day is, this is why you hire people. It's, this video is informational to let you know that this now exists, but you have to really enlist the help of professionals or attorneys and such when you're forming these businesses, because that is only going to help you in the end. Invest a little bit now to save you a lot of headache later. Okay. So yeah, that's it for today's episode of Home Biz Tax Talk. Again, we air Monday through Friday, 9:00-ish, and you can come right here to get your questions answered about your home business taxes. All right, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.